Most of us live our lives as if we are immortal. We move through our days with silent arrogance, assuming that our legs will always carry us, that our hands will always obey us, and that our health is a permanent right rather than a fragile gift. At 29, I was the definition of that arrogance. I believed my body was an unbreakable machine, a temple of pure will. I spent countless hours in the gym, pushing my limits, lifting heavier, running faster, chasing a physical ideal of strength. I was building a future where I would always be the invincible pillar for my wife and my young daughter. I had heard the phrase, health is wealth, 1,000 times. It was a cliche, a bumper sticker, a piece of advice I nodded at but never felt. I was too busy surviving the rat race. I was too busy chasing external success, believing that the more I did, the more I was worth. I didn't know that life can change in the space of a single heartbeat. I didn't know that the world I had built was standing on a foundation of glass. It began as a whisper. Back in 2018, a wrong move during a workout led to a bulging disc. Like many, I treated it as a temporary inconvenience. I took the pills, I rested for a few days, and then I went right back to the grind. I ignored the warnings my body was screaming at me. Then came June 2023. A month that should have been full of summer light became the darkest period of my existence. That disc didn't just slip, it gave way entirely. It collapsed against the very nerves that allow a human being to function. Imagine waking up and realizing the bottom half of your body has become a stranger to you. Imagine the sudden, terrifying silence when you tell your muscles to move and nothing happens. My legs felt like lead weights anchored to the floor. The connection was gone. The wires were cut. In an instant, I was no longer a 29-year-old man in his prime. I was a patient. I was a statistic. I had lost the most basic, most private functions of a human being. The strength I had cultivated in the gym couldn't help me now. I had to face the ultimate humiliation, wearing diapers to survive, losing the ability to use the bathroom on my own, and losing the intimate sensations that make you feel like a man. The dignity I had spent 3 decades building was replaced by medical tubes and a box of adult diapers. I spent nights staring at the ceiling, wondering how a person goes from being a provider to being completely dependent in a matter of hours. I realized then, with a clarity that hurt, that when you cannot even control your own bladder, every dollar in your bank account and every ambition in your head becomes nothing more than useless noise. The months that follow were a journey through a desert of the soul. When you lose the ability to move, the world becomes very small. Your horizon shrinks to the 4 walls of a room. At first, there was only anger, a deep, bitter resentment at the unfairness of it all. Why me? I asked the ceiling. What did I do to deserve this? But in that forced stillness, something strange began to happen. Away from the distractions of the office, the gym, and the constant pursuit of more, I began to hear things I had been too deaf to notice. I began to look inward, not out of choice, but out of necessity. I started exploring ancient wisdom, looking for a way to survive the mental agony. I discovered profound truth. Much of our suffering does not come from the pain itself, but from our resistance to it. I was suffering because I was desperately trying to reach back into the past, trying to grab hold of the man I used to be. I was at war with reality. I realized that life is like a river. It is a constant, uncompromising flow of change. Nothing is permanent. not the mountains, not our empires, and certainly not these vessels of flesh and bone we call bodies. By fighting the change, I was only drowning myself. I learned to stop resisting. I learned that peace is not what happens when you get everything you want. Peace is what happens when you stop fighting what is happening right now. I began to touch the present moment. I found that even when my body felt like a cage, my consciousness was still a vast ocean. In those long hours of recovery, I discovered that when you lose sensation in your body, you are forced to find sensation in your spirit. I used to think that feeling alive meant the adrenaline of a heavy lift or the thrill of a fast car. I was wrong. Feeling alive is the subtle rhythm of the breath entering and leaving your lungs. It is a realization that as long as there is air moving through you, there is hope. I started to practice a simple form of observation. I would sit for hours, just noticing the air. I realized that my breath didn't care about my bank account. It didn't care that I was wearing a diaper. It didn't care about my past mistakes. It was just there, a constant, faithful companion in the present moment. I began to see my condition not as a prison, but as a filter. It filtered out the fake friends, the superficial goals, and the ego-driven desires. What was left was the core of who I am. I found that the less I was able to do with my body, the more I was able to be with my heart. This is the irony of my journey. I had to become paralyzed in order to truly move forward. I had to lose my physical feeling to finally find my emotional depth. 3 years have passed since that day in June. I am still on my path of healing. My body is not what it once was, and it may never be again. I still face daily challenges that most people will never have to consider. I still have to adapt to a new normal that is often difficult and humbling. But I can honestly tell you, I am happier now than I was when I was healthy. I am happier because I am awake. I no longer live to survive. I live to experience. I no longer chase the future. I embrace the now. I have traded my physical ego for a spiritual peace that no gym could ever build. I created this channel, Touch the Present, because I don't want you to wait until your world collapses to realize how beautiful it is. I don't want you to wait until you are broken to find your soul. Whether you are battling a physical illness, struggling with mental burnout, or simply feeling lost in the noise of modern life, you are not alone. This is a sanctuary for all of us. It is a place to slow down, to breathe, and to remember that being alive, in any capacity, is a miracle. We are going to explore the art of mindfulness and the wisdom of living simply, not as a religion, but as a way to reclaim our lives from the chaos. Life is not about the destination we reach or the money we accumulate. It is about the depth of the presence we bring to this very second. Every breath is an invitation to begin again. Every heartbeat is a reminder that you are here, and that is enough. Thank you for being here. Thank you for trusting me with your time and for walking this path with me. Touch the present, heal your soul,